I have plenty of inventory. I have inventory for my booths. I have inventory for eBay. I have inventory for Etsy, and I have inventory for my live sales. Most of my inventory for all of those, except for the live sales, have not even been tagged or photographed or put online. So I had plenty to keep me busy, but I went sourcing anyway.
Well, if you got $1 on just a lousy down, know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine.
Hi, this is Patrick, the trusty THMercantile. Welcome to my channel. I have not done a traditional haul video in quite some time, and that's not, I won't say necessarily by design. To a certain extent, I just haven't been organized or motivated enough to actually put a specific haul video out. You got a little bit of a haul video when I did the meetup video, which was just about a week ago that finally went out. 2 weeks late. But today I decided I better just go ahead and sit down and do one, because I did today what I said I was not going to do. I went out and sourced. I have plenty of inventory. I have inventory for my booths. I have inventory for eBay. I have inventory for Etsy, and I have inventory for my live sales. Most of my inventory for all of those, except for the live sales, have not even been tagged or photographed or put online. So I had plenty to keep me busy, but I went sourcing anyway. So I don't typically go to garage sales, and that's actually one of the reasons I'm going to go ahead and do this as a video, because it is relatively rare that I go to garage sales. More from a timing standpoint, I am not a morning person, so the first thing in the morning, garage sales are not my thing. Friday, and actually Thursday too, but Friday, garage sales are big around here, and I work on Fridays and on Thursdays. So I'm never going to be the one that gets the first dibs on all the best stuff. So I'm the one at the end of the day, on the last day of the garage sale, getting things for half price, and sometimes it works for me. And this is something that I worked on today. So what I'm going to show you is some items that I picked up for a specific area of one of my booths. I have a booth at the Rustic Fox, which is a vendor/vintage mall in North Aurora, Illinois. It just opened this month, September of 2020. And I've got a bigger booth space than I necessarily had wanted, but they were very popular. A lot of the spaces were going, and I grabbed this one, and it meant that I just have a lot of square footage to try a bunch of different things. And one of the things that I'm trying is vintage toys and games. And I'm having mixed results, but overall positive results. So I decided I better, bring in some new material, bring in some new merchandise, and see what sells, so that I can kind of focus as the holiday season really picks up, see what kind of customers are coming in there and what they want to buy. One of the things that has been particularly successful is my books. I started the booth with about a dozen little golden books, and those have all sold out. I had a handful of individual books, and then I've also gone into, that's for children's books, I've also gone into vintage cookbooks and some other things, but I really went to the garage sales today specifically to try and find new books to bring in more inventory. Unfortunately, I only found one little golden book, so I'm not really replenishing my inventory of little golden books, but I did at least find one. It was a Tawny Scrawny Lion, which is one of the original titles. This is a reprint. And if you watched my deep dive with Kelly from Moss Stone Story Vintage, she talks a lot about how you can tell the different golden books. But in this one, you can actually see it has two copyrights. The original copyright was 1952. And then if you look on the Roman numerals, it shows that this one was issued in 1997. So this one was significantly, it was a re-release. It's still vintage. In this case, it's 1997, but it does have the UPC barcode on it. But it's in excellent condition. The spine is absolutely perfect. It's not written in. None of the pages are torn. So this will be a great addition to my booth. And yeah, it's not a first edition. Yeah, it's not particularly one of the oldest ones. But this is one of the things I'm trying to determine with my booth. I think what the customers for the Rustic Fox are looking for are gift items or just things that they like. They're not necessarily looking for true first editions or true vintage or valuable vintage. They want something that looks good, and I'm going to give it to them. So I did at least get one little golden book. But along those lines, because I do feel that some other books could do well if they're just good, good gift books. So this one is an Amelia Earhart, Eleanor Roosevelt book that actually my daughter owns. So I found this. I decided to pick this up. It's a hardcover, great condition, and I think that'll sell well in the booth. I picked up a couple Disney books, Disney, Mulan, and my personal favorite, DuckTales. These probably will actually go into my Disney sale, which I'm scheduled to do within the next couple of weeks for my live sale. But I have a lot of Disney stuff, so maybe they'll go in the sale, or maybe they may not fit, in which case they'll go to the booth, which is exactly why I bought them. But because they're Disney, I might cross them over into the Disney sale. Another one that I got, I'm not sure actually how I'm going to deal with this, and most likely, even though I was specifically, again, sourcing for my booth, I have a feeling this is going to go into a live sale as well. This one is a plastic case that has a very cool T-Rex on the cover. It says on the side, this is a holder for the Prehistoric Zoo Books collection. So you've got this kind of magazine slim book holder that can go on the bookshelf that then has these books in it. The books themselves, I have a feeling there's one missing because there's this double imagery piece that it makes it seem like you should be able to slide a book in there and have two pictures that fit into those two slots. And none of these books have an image that works in those slots. Again, that's fine. No kid's going to really care. But it is a cool case. And the books themselves are pretty cool as well. So you've got the prehistoric books. You've got Out of Water, which is book 5. I literally just realized these are numbered. So let's see if anything's missing. Book 5, book 3, book 6. Oh yeah, things are missing. Book 8. And that's all I have. So for the book collection, it looks like I'm missing books 1, 2, 4, 7. And I don't know how many initially came in here, but I have at least up to 8. So there's 4 books in here. There's a couple of posters, which are actually still in pretty good condition. They were folded up to fit into the books, but so other than the fold marks, the posters have never been hung, so there's no tears, there's no tape or anything on them. So there's that little poster, another little poster that's also folded into 4s for the T-Rex. It says, I love dinosaurs. And then this one was kind of like a wall chart that covers the geological time and history of life in North America. So there's some cool individual pieces to this, even if it's not actually complete. The fact that there are so many pieces in it, however, I don't think it's going to do well in my booth because I'm afraid they'll get separated out as people pull them apart. The poster may get torn. There is an activity guide that goes with it as well. This kind of fits into the windows, but not really. Unfortunately, there's some coloring activities, and there are 2 pages I think I found in the entire book that actually had somebody start coloring. So it's not in perfect unused condition, but the bulk of the activities have not been done. And then there's the individual books. So I think it's just one of those cool little gift items. I think I really would like to have it in the booth, but I just don't trust that it'll survive. So this will probably go into one of my live sales and hopefully go to a good home for somebody's kid or grandkid. Some other items that I picked up in the garage sale, I kind of expanded a little bit. One I got simply because I love him. I am going to sell him. Hercules is my favorite Disney movie. This is something I didn't even know existed. This was a whole series of Hercules action figures. And I got the Lava Titan is the one that I have. So basically, if you know Hercules, the Lava Titan only has like a cameo. It's only in 2 very brief scenes, one at the beginning, one at the end. But hey, he gets his own action figure. So these, I'm not sure on the age. They've got a website on the back, made in China. The Hercules movie itself, I think, came out in 97. So most likely these are from around the release of the movie. So, according to Etsy, these would still be vintage, but it's all sealed up. I mean, so it's still in its original, pack. There is one listed on eBay right now for $40. The last one that sold within the last couple of months, actually sold for $17. So, there actually is some value to these. So I just thought that was kind of fun. Never really dealt with action figures before. So either I'll put that up on eBay, maybe it'll go in my Disney sale, but more likely it'll go up on eBay because there are some comps that show that it sells for a pretty decent amount. Another item that I drifted into, which I somewhat regret now, this is the Jeff Gordon metal collector's cards. So it's a collector's tin, and then inside you get the thank you from all of us at Metallic Impressions. You get this set of, and they're still sealed, of these like metal collector's cards. So you can see there's some dimension to them, a little bit of rim on the back, so they're front and back. They're all still sealed up, numbered 1 through 5. So you've got different images of Jeff Gordon. I want to say this was dated, I did see a date on this, 1997. So again, from the truest Etsy definition, this still falls into vintage. Sorry, Jeff, you are vintage. A lot of these are available for sale right now on eBay, and some of them are listed for some decent money. A lot of them are not, and the ones that have sold are not selling for particularly huge amounts of money. So because I have such a very low presence on eBay, this is going to get lost in the shuffle. So most likely, believe it or not, this is probably going to go up into one of my live sales. So if you're a Jeff Gordon fan, be on the lookout. You'll be able to get these for a pretty decent price because I didn't pay that much for them. I paid enough that I thought I'd be able to get some decent return on it. If I held on to them for a long time, based on some of the others that are listed, I might be able to do well, but I have no interest in keeping things for months and years on end. So I'll turn it quickly. Live sale is a good way to do it as long as you put it on a good price. So that's what I will do. So sorry, Jeff, you're gonna go into a you're gonna go cheap. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the areas I was trying to build up, specifically hitting the garage sales today, was the toys and games section. And I was actually successful in picking up some vintage toys and games. One of them is this Pick Up Sticks game. I actually had a Pick Up Sticks game, which I sold in a live sale, because some of the vintage games that I had for that one I felt were a little bit too precious to put into my booth. This one is a little bit later than the one that I had in that sale. This one is a copyright date of 1975, so this is a little bit later. What I found interesting about it is the copyright on it goes to Whitman, but Whitman is owned by Western Publishing Company in Racine, Wisconsin, who is the copyright holder for Little Golden Books. So even though I only found one Little Golden Books, I found something that Little Golden Books also manufactured. Another game that I had found was a chess set. This is a magnetic set of both chess and backgammon. So it folds in half, has a magnetic clasp with a backgammon board inside. It has a bag of all the pieces. I did actually go through and check to make sure all the chess pieces are there. It has an instruction booklet for backgammon. I couldn't really tell the age on it. I was hoping that the booklet would have had something that indicated it, but it doesn't even have the manufacturer's name. So from the inside, from some of the graphics, I'm thinking this is probably 80s. I don't think it's much older than that, but it could be maybe going in the 70s. But it has kind of a nice finish to it, like almost like a mirrored. I'm not sure it's metal. I know the box is wood, but there's definitely some sort of a laminate here. So I do think it's metal because the pieces have magnets on them. But I do have a chess set, a foldable chess set like this in my booth already, but it's about 3 times the size of this one. So I'm hoping, that one is not sold yet, so I'm hoping that a smaller one might attract a little bit of attention. Another thing that I had sold a couple pieces of in my live sale, and have since put some in my booth, is bridge. I don't know if there's really a market for bridge. I sold all the pieces that I had. I had a couple different bridge sets and some instruction books and a bidding wheel. This one I thought was kind of cool. if nothing else for the graphics on it, it has bridge for 2 is on the outside, and then on the inside it has what if you remember Tripoli, that was the thing when I was a kid. My parents would, that's how I got introduced to poker. It had like a big table cover that gave you all of your instructions. That's what this is. So this is folded up on the inside. So you've got, all the different things that you're supposed to do. I don't know how to play bridge, so I'm assuming that this means something. You can see it's a Milton Bradley game. It does have regular instructions as well. I guess it's special because bridge is normally played for 4, and this is bridge for 2. So it's got the graphics in the lid of the box. You can see the couple that are playing, and then there's these little trays that are holding the other cards. That's what these are. So you've got a set of red trays, a set of black trays. You then have decks of cards. You've got the red striped cards with some dude on it, and then the black striped cards. This one has the official Gorin point count system, so there's a little cheat sheet on it, but they are cards as well. So it's just kind of a cool little set. I didn't pay very much for it. Because I can't imagine it's particularly worth a lot. What I need to do is verify that all of the cards are actually there, because if the cards are all there, if nothing else, it's just the graphics on the cards are kind of cool. But it's just kind of a neat little set. I will probably put this into my booth. That's, again, my intention. But what I'm discovering is a lot of the things that I'm going into my booth have little pieces and have little things that could fall out. And I need to figure out a way to do it so it looks nice, but also protects me so that, it's not particularly valuable, but there's going to be some value that will be lost if someone destroys some of the pieces. Similarly, I ended up with 2 of these identical bridge sets, and they are these little plastic cases that come out of the box. So this little case that you would have. I guess you could keep it in the box. It's just like a little, little plastic. But it has the score pad for bridge, and they're unused. There are some instruction cards for buying additional cards, replacement cards. I didn't find a year on them, but they do have zip codes, so they're after 1963. But what I need to verify, both sets are identical, and both of them have 2 sets of cards: a pink set of cats and a yellowish-orange set of cats. What I need to verify is that, again, all of the cards are here, because the place that I bought these from had a bin with all the cards, and I found a bunch of these cards sitting in the bottom of the bin. So I found everything that I could, but that doesn't mean that there weren't some that had fallen out or whatever, because this is, again, it's going to be another one of those cases. I'm probably going to try and rubber band it or something, that when the lid sits on it, if it starts to get loose, those cards will fall, just like they're doing here. Those cards will fall right out. So I need to first verify that the cards are all there, and if they are, fantastic. Figure out if I can maybe I'll do one set in the booth and another set in a live sale. We shall see. But it's I thought they were kind of fun and a little bit different. And again, like, people like cats, so the idea that had that bridge set with the little memo pad, I thought people might pick that up just as a decorative piece, even if they're not playing bridge. These next pieces, I admittedly don't know who the audience is going to be for these, but I have 2 boxes of vintage unicorn darts. So they're these great, these great vintage boxes with the cool graphics on them. The darts are, really nice, seem to be nice, high quality darts. They're pretty heavy, but I don't really know who buys darts. So maybe if someone's playing darts, I don't know if maybe they don't make them like they used to. Maybe there's a market for these. I kind of thought the box just looked cool. So if you had a game room, a man cave like this, I just think would look really cool on the shelf, regardless that there's something in there. The box looks cool. So I actually got 2 of those, and we shall see. Those will go into the booth, and we'll see what happens with them. Have done, again, did the live sale. I did some sales of some Matchbox cars. This is actually an HO gauge train piece. It is a Jeep, but it's scaled to the same size as an HO train set. So this one, I need to look to see if there's any particular value to this particular item to see if it needs to go up on eBay or Etsy. But I had anticipated just picking this up and having this again in the toys and games section, regardless of whether you've got a train set or not. It's just a cool looking Jeep, and it's still got the original box. I'm not sure of the age, but it was made in Austria, so I couldn't pass it up. Another couple games that I picked up definitely had some age on them. One was the Tiddlywinks set, which has a little bit of issue box-wise. The box at one point was taped, and the tape is kind of fallen separate from the cardboard. But it's got the box. You know, the box itself is the Tiddlywinks box. I don't know if there's supposed to be more Tiddlies or more Winks. I don't know how many things are supposed to be in there. Again, I have a feeling this is going to be purchased more for the graphics, whether you open it or just have the box lid or whatever. I just thought it was kind of cool. And that's something that I think I can just rubber band and put that into my booth. And if it doesn't sell there, I think it probably would sell in a live sale, and I would actually have that. Another game which I haven't figured out yet, it's called Bally Buttons. This one is dated 1969. So it's got these colored buttons in it. When the puzzle is properly solved, there will be no duplicate color and no duplicate shapes in any straight line of 4. So it's got the legend of the puzzle on the back. It seems to be somewhat self-contained. The lid, just comes off, and you've got your game. So this is, again, it's something that makes me a little bit nervous in the booth, because if I rubber band this and somebody takes it apart, the pieces could fly out. But I have a little bit of faith that, I have a little bit of faith that even if somebody were to knock these pieces out, they very distinctly go back into a specific, slot, that they wouldn't be lost forever. So again, this will probably go into the booth. That's what I bought it for. We'll see what ends up happening at the end of the day. Another area of my booth which has been more fun to build than necessarily has been selling well, but I'm mixing it up a little bit to just figure out what people are looking for and what will end up selling. But I created sin carts. So I have 2 bar carts sitting at the front on either side of my booth. One of them is now all dedicated to cocktail stuff, cocktail glasses, cocktail recipe books, bar tools, all kinds of vintage barware. But then I also have a shelf of Tobacciana. So I've got ashtrays, I've got, different cigar and cigarette tins, and, different things that are collectible in that field. And then I have a field for a shelf of gambling items. A lot of casino items, Las Vegas items, poker items, and playing cards. So the playing cards have been selling. But I haven't sold enough yet to know what exactly people are looking for. So I'm mixing it up a little bit. So when I find some sets of cards that are still sealed, that's the one thing that I'm trying to lean on, because I may be doing a deep dive with Laura Bemos where she actually explores and discusses cards and finishes and manufacturers, because there's a whole history in all of that, particularly when you dip into the Las Vegas aspect of it, because you've got the cards that the casino had used and then they sell them, but they're sealed, and if they're not sealed, like, what's the value? So in some cases I just picked up, this is a set of Rainforest Cafe Rainforest, I thought it was Rainforest Cafe, but it doesn't say Rainforest Cafe, it says Rainforest Moody Gardens. What were the Moody Gardens? Okay, I'm going to have to look that up, because I thought they were just Rainforest Cafe cards. So, okay, I just learned something myself. But they've got the individual case. The cards themselves say they were made in Hong Kong. and they are still sealed. So I went ahead and picked them up, and again, waiting to see what the market is going to balance itself on, if those are the types of cards people are looking for, or if it's things like these vintage cards. This also, ironically enough, this is somebody, I don't know if this person used to work for Western Publishing, but this is a deck of cards from the same company that makes Little Golden Books. They made a set of vintage playing cards, and they are also still sealed. So you've got this very, I'd say, 70s floral display, going on in here, but they're all completely sealed up with their jokers. I found is a deck of Delta Airline playing cards that are still sealed. So again, the fact that they're still sealed, I think, puts a little bit more value on them. If nothing else, it means that at least you can play them. There's nothing going to be missing. I found this other deck of cards, which again, made from the Western Publishing Company, so the same people that did Little Golden Books. And this one, if you watched the deep dive that I did with Kelly on Little Golden Books, Kelly from Mossstone's Story Vintage, she mentioned that Richard Scarry used to be an artist in Western Publishing Company before he kind of became Richard Scarry and went off and did all of his own thing. So he was basically the in-house artist. And that to me looks like a Richard Scarry tiger. The other ones were less obvious. So you've got a fox. I kind of remember Richard Scarry from my daughter's childhood. You got the panda. So, but I do believe it is Western Publishing. It says right on the card, so there's really no question. But I think it's kind of cool that I think they're also made by Richard Scarry, so before he kind of became famous. They're not sealed. I did count them because the card actually says how many cards are supposed to be in here, and I do have all of the cards, so that's good. But some of the cards, there's a couple have a little bent, some have a little tear on the corner, so they're not in the best condition, and the case itself has been cracked. You can kind of see there's a crack running down. I still think this is something that I'll be able to sell at the booth for a few bucks. If it doesn't sell there, I'm sure it'll sell in a live sale. But I wanted to have something again, something small, rubber banded together. Kind of go on the honor system that if things don't get lost or taken out of it, and sell that at my booth. Again, I mentioned there's poker theme there as well. So you've got the cards, you need the poker chips. So this one, though, I have a feeling is going to go into a live sale because this box is in really rough shape. And I don't think it's going to survive people trying to look at it in the booth, because I think once they were to, I'm not even sure how to open this myself. I think maybe this slide, no. I think this is supposed to slide, yeah. So this is supposed to slide out, but then these are completely loose. So this will probably end up in a live sale. I actually have some other poker chips that are already in my booth. So I picked these up because they were a good price. But these will probably end up in a live sale simply because these probably won't survive my booth. And that's just something I've got to kind of figure out. Which items go onto Etsy, which go onto eBay, which go into the booth versus which go in the live sale. The second booth that I have is only a couple weeks old. So I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. One of the more exciting purchases I picked up, it was one of those okay, I'm going to try it, but I'm not sure it's going to be a good idea because I'm not sure it'll work. So I came home, put some batteries in it, and I've got a poker game. So it's a digital poker game. I'm not sure how old it is. I thought it was older, but it does say on the back that it's made in China. It runs on 2 AAA batteries, but it does work. I played it for a good 10 minutes. I just kept playing it. So it does work. It's got 2 different versions. It's got a bonus poker game and a draw poker game. I was playing draw poker. I'm not exactly sure what the bonus poker is. But anyway, it's just a little digital game. This, again, I haven't decided whether it's going to go in the booth or into a live sale. I'll probably put it into the booth with the batteries in it just to prove that it works. And I think I'll be able to get good money out of it because it is working. And I think people will just pick it up as a fun additional item. The last thing that I picked up was related to the poker game, but this one goes a little more old school, you would say. It is a... Can I pick it up here? It is a cube game of poker where you've got the dice have the cards in them. And so you throw the dice down, It's called Showdown Poker. It's got the instructions in the box. It shows what it looks like here with some instructions. You know, graphic-wise, I can't remember if this one I found a date on. Yeah, 1971. So the graphics in this were 1971. But what I did figure out is, based on the instructions that are in the box, there are supposed to be 15 dice, and there are 15 dice. So it is actually a complete game. And that's really, you know, as I'm trying to build out that section of my booth, I want to make sure that whatever I have is at least, yes, you can buy something just for the graphics, but, you know, if I price it right, somebody might want to buy the actual game itself as well. And the timer that comes with this, see if I can do this without dumping everything on the table. There's a like an egg timer type thing, which I'm sure is somehow listed in the instructions. It has never been taken out. There's a cord, like an elastic cord, that one of them has broken off just because of age. The other one is still there. So, I mean, I guess it's possible they like took it out, and then when they put it back in, they put it under the elastic, maybe. I don't know. The cup is still in its little slot. So the whole thing's here. I mean, so again, so it's kind of cool with graphics. It's a little big. Like there's nothing really to show inside. On the outside, you know, it's 70s graphics, you know, 1971, but it's 70s graphics. It's more the game itself. I mean, this I just think would look really cool sitting on a desk or sitting on, you know, a shelf of a bookcase or something in a man cave, that you just kind of put a couple pieces there, and it's just kind of a fun item. It's not going to bring a lot of money, but I didn't pay a lot of money for it. So it's one of those cases that it's a big item that will take up some decent, you know, be noticeable in the booth. I'm also noticing that some of the smaller things like the cards, I had to find something to put the cards in because they were falling to the bottom of the, you know, the basket. Like you things have to be found. So this will be found. So I got a nice variety of toys and games, you know, poker, adult games, children's games, hopefully refresh my booth. So a lot of these will get priced to go into the booth, maybe even as early as tomorrow. A couple of them will end up on, live sales. But if there's anything that you see and you are interested in it, even if it's dedicated or headed for a live sale, I have no idea when it's going to hit because I've got plenty of inventory already for live sales. So if there's anything that you're interested in, just drop me a message, comment on the video, asking about it, and we can probably work something out. Even if I've already taken it to the booth, I have no problems. If it hasn't sold over there, going and grab it and bringing it home. I've done it for other pieces. So if you see anything you like, let me know. Hope you liked the video. If you made it this far and you're not a subscriber, really would appreciate you subscribing, giving a thumbs up on the video, commenting on it, sharing it with your friends, whatever you may do. It does help our videos get seen by more people. But regardless of what you do with that, I do appreciate you giving me your time and for you putting your trust in a trusty huckster. Bye-bye.
Well, show me a sign if you're wishing me to stay. Otherwise, I say goodbye, finish out the day. And that sunrise in the morning and you got nothing to say. Oh, that's when I'll be headed on my way. Hey, I hope I can abide by your area codes, and I'm bound to wander down that endless road. Give me a good deal on something I can use. Make me an offer that I just can't refuse. When that sunrise in the morning and there's nothing there to do, will probably be the last time I see you. Woo-hoo! I hope I can abide by your area code, and I'm bound to wander down that endless road. Well, if I had a dime for every time I felt this way, you know I'd have $1 million and a couple bucks in change. Sure was nice to know you. Oh, maybe I'll catch you on a New York train. Or maybe I'll never see your face again.